Hello, this is Raymond Aaron, the Meta Man, bringing you number 2 in a series of 3 fascinating interviews with Robert Rolih, the master of stocks and crypto, and the author of the runaway international bestseller, The $1 Million Decision. And in this second fascinating interview, he talks about, is Facebook evil, and why people are even asking that question, and the basic difference between Facebook's metaverse versus all the other decentralized metaverses. And he talks about the future of the metaverse, and he gives some interesting points on whether one particular metaverse will dominate or whether there will be a proliferation of competing co-metaverses. And he reminded us to watch the movie Ready Player One again. And he finally taught me what NFTs were and exactly how to make money at it. There's one particular way to make money at NFTs, even if you don't fully understand what they are. There's one particular way to do it. And we talked about Snoop Dogg buying a really expensive property in the metaverse sandbox and then building a mansion on it. Question is, what's a virtual mansion? And then he sent out invitations, which are NFTs, and somebody paid $2.4 million to be a neighbor of Snoop Dogg in the sandbox metaverse. We had a lot of fun, lots of insights in this second of 3 fascinating interviews. Okay, and I understand that Mark Zuckerberg on October 29th of 2021 did take the first step by changing the name of the most massive social media platform in existence, Facebook, changing its name to Meta. And at that moment, all of a sudden people started asking, what's Meta? What's a metaverse?
It's a metaverse.
And as far as I understand, there's 2 kinds of metaverses. One is Facebook's metaverse, which is centralized. Mark Zuckerberg owns it. And the reason he's doing it is because when you and I are on Facebook, we might reveal certain things about ourselves, but we seem to be conscious of what we're revealing. But when we are an avatar in his metaverse, we reveal even deeper things about us, because maybe I've always wanted to be a world-class swimmer, but I don't tell anybody that now because it's inappropriate. I'm 77 years old. I haven't swum in a decade. But if I have my choice as to what my avatar is, maybe I'll choose a swimmer. And then Mark Zuckerberg can say, oh, I bet you he would like to buy some art, some paintings of swimmers, or maybe he wants to buy some bathing suits, or maybe he wants to buy a swimming pool for his backyard. And so he knows way more about me that is intimate, that I would have never revealed otherwise. On the other hand, there's metaverses like Sandbox and Decentraland and Axie Infinity, in which it's decentralized, which seems to be safer. And I think that I don't want to call it evil. I don't want to call Facebook's metaverse evil, but it has not even a hidden agenda to make money. It's okay if Facebook makes money. Anyways, I think you have an idea what I'm talking about. What's the solution? Should I warn everybody, don't you dare join Facebook's metaverse? It's evil. It just wants your money. Tell me.
Yeah, this will be the big battle of metaverses, I think, in the future. There will be big companies that will try to take this space. Probably, I don't know, Raymond, if you have read the book Ready Player One or watched the movie.
Ready Player One? Yes, I saw it.
Yes.
I know you're enjoying this presentation, so this is your opportunity to reciprocate and make sure you subscribe and make sure that you like this particular video and make sure you comment, because I respond to all my comments, and make sure you share. Please do that. Subscribe, like, comment, share. That's our deal. I'll make great videos for you, and you like and comment and share and subscribe.
So the battle was already described in this book. There was this big giant corporation, I think it was called IOI, against these groups of avatars or people who were using this platform or simulation. So it was basically fight. On the one hand, you have this big corporation that wants to use the metaverse for advertising and knowing you better and knowing everything about you and so on. And on the other hand, you have this decentralized or maybe a different way how to run things in this metaverse. So yeah, this will be a big issue in the future, and it will be really interesting to see which way wins this battle. If we get some kind of centralized big corporation running everything, or do we get maybe many metaverses, maybe more niche metaverses run by some kind of decentralized organizations, or there will be maybe one big decentralized metaverse where nobody is a real owner, but it's decentralized ownership and everything, just like blockchain right now. So we'll see. It will be interesting. It will be interesting. But yes. I think that this is quite the technology is not there yet to really run this kind of thing, because the first thing is that you have right now the goggles and everything, virtual reality. It's very tough to use. It's not easy to use. It's tiring. So the technology is not there. So I think that there will be maybe at least a couple of decades till we see something real, something that will really be the next level, something that we read about or watched in the movie Ready Player One. I think that we are quite, this is way ahead of us right now.
Okay, Robert, in all the questions I've asked you so far, I've been hamming it up a bit, saying, gee, I don't know how this works. Please explain it to me. And I'm just doing it to make an exciting interview. But I actually knew a lot of the answers, and I wanted my listeners to learn. But this time, I really don't know. And I want you to explain to me. If you want to explain it to my listeners, that's great. But I want to understand something. What the heck is an NFT, and why would anyone pay millions of dollars for some over-pixelated JPEG?
Yeah, that's a good question. So NFTs are just digital items like songs, or maybe some digital art, or maybe it's some in-game item like a sword or hammer or whatever. And these items can be bought and sold using the blockchain technology. So this means that you can prove that you are an owner of a specific item or specific song or specific piece of art. Okay, so basically it's digital proof of ownership. Digital proof of ownership. Just like if you buy a Picasso, everybody in the world knows that you are the owner, because they have verified that this is the real Picasso. It has been sold at an auction for $50 million and so on. So everybody knows that you are the owner. But in the digital world, we didn't have this. We didn't have this, and that is why right now, there are a lot of artists that are diving into this space, because this is the future. This is the future because you need digital ownership. Okay, in the digital world, the world is becoming more and more digital, and in the digital world, you need digital ownership. And now, why do people buy it? Because of the different human needs that we have. For example, in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, of human needs, there is a self-esteem need, or status needs, and people just want to show the world that they own something valuable, and this way they increase their status, they become more popular, and so on. So it's basically just the same thing as with with normal art, or with normal music, or with normal real estate. It's just transferred into digital world.
But Robert, behind your head, there's a really beautiful piece of art of a tree in the fall, and there's pretty colors. If I was going to buy an NFT, I would want to buy an NFT of something pretty, a song that I really am delighted by. But the NFTs that I've seen are such highly pixelated that they could be drawn by a little child. They don't have any artistic elegance to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's also, for me, that's quite an interesting thing regarding NFTs. That if you see really an amazing piece of art in the digital world, it can be worth $10. And if you see a small JPEG of a frog, it can be worth $1 million. So it's funny. Basically, it all depends on what value we assign to something. And some collections, they just have this value because they were created maybe very soon. Or they were the first collections that were created as NFTs. Some collections have value because they were created by a famous artist. Some collections are worth something just because of the community around it. So it all depends, and you never know which collections will prove to be worth a lot. For example, in 10-year time. You never know. Maybe something that is being sold right now for 1 million, maybe in 10 years it will be worthless, and maybe something else will have a lot of value. You never know. So it's a very interesting space, and you need to really know what you are doing if you want to, let's say, trade with this kind of art and maybe make some money or whatever.
Robert, a big thing that I've learned from this interview that I've kind of gleaned from all of your answers is that the whole area is new. The coins are new, NFTs are new, DeFi is new, metaverse is new. And a lot of your answers have to do with, let's wait and see. Somebody's taken a first step, somebody else has agreed with their first step and paid a lot of money for it. But I remember, and so that it actually helps me now, because I remember that Snoop Dogg, who's very famous in the physical world, bought a beautiful plot of land in Sandbox, at least beautiful in the sense that it's, quote, in a good location, whatever that means, because there's 155 plots of land in Sandbox. And somebody else paid 2.4 million to have a plot of land right beside Snoop Dogg, but it's only right beside in some digital sense. Like it's only right beside in terms of ones and zeros. There isn't a physical map that has it side by side. And then Snoop Dogg built a mansion, which I'm not sure what it means because it's digital. Like, does it take just 1 second to build a mansion, or does it take months? And then he sent out an invitation for an open house, and the invitations were NFTs. And so you don't have to hand them in when you arrive for the party, you get to keep them and you can trade them forever. And so instead of wondering, what I've learned from you is that he tried it. Snoop Dogg tried it, and somebody else bought the land next door and tried it. And he's hoping that 5 years from now, there's going to be so much interest in Sandbox's 155,000 parcels of land that it'll be worth a lot. So they're just trying it. I see. That's very helpful to me.
For example, if I just give you one example, the best art dealers, the best art collectors who made the most money with buying and selling art are those who bought a lot of pieces of art, and some of them really gained a lot of value in the future. But when they have bought these pieces of art, they didn't know which pieces of art will be worth something and which will go to zero. Okay, so for example, a lot of times people ask me, can I make money with NFTs? Of course, you can make money, with NFTs. But if you just buy one NFT, there is a very, very, very low probability that this will be worth something in the future. But if you buy 1,000 different NFTs from different collections and so on, there is a very high probability that some of these pieces of art that you bought will be worth quite a lot. But of course, maybe 95% will go to zero, but the remaining 5% or 1% could be making you millions, okay? So you never know in the future what will happen. But you can diversify, your investments, and this way you can basically increase the chances that you can make some money in the future.
You are now far wiser than you were just a few minutes ago. Please click on Meta in order to subscribe to my channel. And please click on this video, which is my most recent video, my previous one. And please click on that video, which Google and YouTube think is the most appropriate if you enjoyed this video.